painters are lower on this list because they are not supernatural, cosmic, or biological threats. They are human serial killers. However, they still deserve a place because their body count is extremely high compared to most grounded analog horror villains. Mona Lanius and Bill Collins are responsible for a large number of murders throughout the Painter. Depending on the interpretation of the series, their victim count is around 100 people. That makes them deadlier than many more famous analog horror characters who may only have a few confirmed kills. What makes them dangerous is not special powers. It is planning, violence, and the ability to avoid being caught for a long time. They target people, kill them in disturbing ways, and leave behind paintings connected to the crimes. The series presents them almost like a long-running crime spree that law enforcement is struggling to stop. Compared to something like The Alternates or The Iris, the Painters are much easier to understand. They are human. They can be arrested. They can be killed. They do not infect the world or destroy reality, but that also makes them more grounded. Their danger comes from the fact that they operate within the normal world and still manage to cause a massive amount of death. The entity itself is a massive living organism located underground in Texas. It is so large that humans turn part of its body into a tourist attraction. That is already a major warning sign. The horror of the flesh pit comes from the fact that people treated an enormous unknown organism like a business opportunity. The deadliest known event connected to it is the 2007 disaster, which killed hundreds of people. That alone puts it above many analog horror monsters. A single failure inside the park caused mass casualties, and that happened while humans were supposedly managing the situation. The reason it is not higher is because the flesh pit does not seem to be actively hunting humanity in the same way other entities do. It is dangerous because of its size, biology, and unpredictability. People die because they are inside something they do not fully understand. Fin 228, also known as the Boiled One, is one of the most dangerous media-based entities in analog horror. It does not need to physically attack someone. Its threat comes through broadcasts, images, and perception. Victims exposed to the Boiled One can suffer extreme physical and psychological effects. One of the most disturbing parts of the entity is that it can leave people trapped in a paralyzed or locked-in state. That means the victim may still be aware, but unable to move or escape. This makes the Boiled One especially dangerous because the average person would have almost no way to protect themselves. You do not have to enter a dangerous location. You do not have to touch an object. You only have to see the wrong broadcast or be exposed to the wrong image. In a modern setting, that kind of threat could spread very quickly. If an entity can use television or other media to reach people, then the danger is not limited to one town or one building. It can potentially reach anyone watching at the wrong time. The smile fungus is one of the clearest examples of an analog horror threat with outbreak-level danger. It spreads like a disease and changes the behavior of infected people. Victims become violent, unstable, and capable of infecting others. That already makes it more dangerous than most single monsters. A creature that kills one person at a time is bad, but an infection can grow exponentially. Every new victim can become part of the problem. The series gives the smile outbreak a large confirmed impact, with thousands of hospitalizations and a major death toll. That makes it one of the deadliest analog horror threats in terms of actual numbers, not just implied danger. What makes the smile fungus worse is that it mutates. A stable disease is already hard to control. A changing disease is much harder. If the infection keeps adapting, then containment, treatment, and public warnings become less reliable over time. Him, the figure connected to the creation or control of the fungus, adds another layer to the threat. If the outbreak is not natural, then it may be directed. That means the spread of the fungus may not be random. It could be part of a deliberate plan. The threat in Vita Carnis is not just one monster. It is an entire ecosystem of flesh-based organisms. That is what makes it so dangerous. Some Vita Carnis life forms are relatively harmless or even useful to humans, but others are extremely dangerous. Mimics can imitate humans or human behavior. Harvesters can kill with venom and tendrils. Hosts lure victims in. The crawl appears to be the base organism that produces or supports the rest of the ecosystem. This is a major problem because the danger is renewable. If there was only one mimic, it could maybe be hunted down. But if the ecosystem keeps producing more life forms, then the threat never really ends. The scariest part is that humanity has partially normalized the Vita Carnis. Some of these organisms are used as food or treated like part of the environment. That means people are living alongside something they do not fully understand. That is what makes this entity group so deadly. The danger is not just being attacked in the woods. The danger is that the entire food chain has been changed. Humans are not dealing with one escaped monster. They are dealing with a biological system that has inserted itself into everyday life. The alternates from the Mandela Catalogue are some of the most dangerous human-scale entities in analog horror. They are not dangerous because they are physically unstoppable. They are dangerous because they attack identity, trust, and mental stability. An alternate can resemble a person, imitate a person, or replace a person. That makes them extremely difficult to detect. In a normal monster story, the danger is obvious once you see the creature. With alternates, the danger may look like someone you know. Their main method of killing is psychological. They manipulate victims, isolate them, and push them towards suicide or total mental collapse. This makes them different from simple predators. They do not always need to use force. They can convince the victim that there is no way out. Gabriel makes the threat much larger. He appears to be the central figure behind the alternate problem and is tied to the series' religious themes. His presence suggests that the alternates are not just random monsters. They may be part of a larger spiritual or cosmic takeover. The alternates are also dangerous because they scale well. If one alternate can destroy a family, many alternates can destroy communities. They can infiltrate homes, emergency calls, churches, police systems, and media. The Moon from Local 58 is one of the most dangerous entities in analog horror because it uses mass communication and basic human behavior against people. In weather service, viewers are warned not to look at the moon. Then the broadcast is hijacked or contradicted by another message telling people to look outside. That is the core of the horror. People are trained to trust emergency broadcasts, and the entity uses that trust against them. The danger is simple. If you look at the moon, something happens to you. The exact effect is not fully explained, but the implication is that the moon, or the force behind it, can influence, control, or destroy people through exposure. That makes it extremely deadly. You do not need to be attacked. You do not need to be infected by contact. You do not even need to leave your house. You only need to follow the wrong instruction during an emergency. The Iris from Gemini Home Entertainment is one of the most powerful entities in analog horror. It is a planet-sized intelligence connected to the invasion and transformation of Earth. The Iris is not dangerous because it attacks people directly. It is dangerous because it appears to control or influence an entire network of organisms and events. Woodcrawlers, deep-root disease, gardeners, and other threats all connect back to the larger invasion. That makes the Iris a strategic threat. It does not need to destroy humanity in one attack. It can spread through organisms, disease, environmental changes, and long-term infiltration. The woodcrawlers alone are already deadly. They can imitate or replace people and attack in isolated areas. But they are only part of the bigger problem. The Iris seems to be using Earth as a target for biological takeover. The Horned Serpent is the deadliest analog horror entity because its threat level goes beyond a city, country, or even a planet. It is connected to the destruction of Earth and major reality-level events in the monument Mythos. The Horned Serpent is not a normal monster. It is tied to the deeper supernatural structure of the world, alternate history, monuments, special trees, and the larger cosmic mythology of the series. Its existence is connected to events that humanity cannot fully understand or control. What makes it the deadliest is the scale of the damage connected to it. Other entities can kill people, spread disease, or destroy towns. The Horned Serpent is connected to the collapse of the world itself.